I got this look with my must-have drugstore products. Along the way, I compared my must-haves to some higher-end products to show you how you can get the same effect for so much less money. If you want to know how I did it, watch this. Is this better than this? Is this better than this? And can these give you the same effect as these? I've done a lot of deep dives into luxury products lately, and now I'm back to my first love, drugstore. And the first thing I'm going to do is find out whether the L'Oreal Cushion Foundation is going to oust my beloved Maybelline 30 Hour from the top slot. Here it is. I have been trying this on and off, and I'm not a cushion person, but I'm going to try it on this side of my face, and then I'm going to try the 30 Hour on the other side. It's easy to apply, gives a good finish. I don't really need full coverage, but I think you can build it up. And I think that's actually rather lovely. That's before and that's after. Now let me try my 30 Hour. Oops, it's gone all over my carpet. I'm going to try my 30 Hour Lumi Matte, which if you've been here before, you will know that this is my absolute favourite. But I think the L'Oreal is as good, depending on your preferences, as the Maybelline. The Maybelline has a little bit more Lumi and the L'Oreal has a little bit more matte. I'm going to leave these on because I can test what the other drugstore products that I'm trying will sit like over these two foundations. Cream bronzer's next, and my must-have drugstore cream bronzer is this Lifter Sticks from Maybelline. I use this as often as I use my Fenty or my Rare Beauty. Colour-wise, they're slightly different. That is the Lifter Sticks, that's the Fenty, and that is the Rare Beauty. They're in the same family. But in terms of price and actually formula, this is top-notch. Go. Honestly, you can't beat it. It's creamy, it's blendable, and it sits very well on top of both the L'Oreal foundation and the Maybelline. And this is in the shade 65. I don't have any competition for my Maybelline Age Eraser. I've said before, this actually beats any high-end or other drugstore, and kind of refuse to use anything else. Beautiful, absolutely lovely. And again, sits well over the cushion, and of course I know it'll sit well over my 30 Hour Lumi Matte. Three other must-haves, again, non-competes. For brows, I've used the NYX Brow Glue. Oh, why am I dropping everything? And for lashes, my Essence Primer and my L'Oreal Telescopic. I literally have tried everything. The only thing that comes close is a much less affordable, still more affordable than high-end, and that's my Bad Girl Bang. But in my opinion, drugstore all the way for a good mascara. For highlighter, I've tried lots of drugstore highlighters. My must-have is this L'Oreal Lumi in 620 Glassy Pink Ballet. The high-end version is this Westman Atelier in Lit Up. This is the L'Oreal, and the one that you can hardly see is the Westman Atelier. So the Westman Atelier is very, very much more, let's say, delicate. But in terms of payoff, I think the L'Oreal, actually, look at that. It does swatch more pink than the Westman Atelier, but it doesn't go on your skin too pink. It actually just gives you much more of a glow. After my deep dive into how much high-end brands spend on packaging and how little they actually spend on the formula, I have even more respect for drugstore products because the product is actually not dissimilar to any high-end brand. Other options, a Catrice highlighter. This is a powder, and there's also the MCoBeauty Highlight and Glow Wand. This is very much more bronzy. The Catrice is very much more golden. But I've road tested both of them and they are easy to blend, easy to put on, and they stay on. If a liquid is more your thing, there's the Maybelline All-Star, and it's a liquid highlighter. It's a bit more goldy. I just can't fit everything on my face, so I can't try everything on, much as I would love to. If you want to see any of the products that I've mentioned on my face, leave a comment down below and I'd be more than happy to do that. With blush, if I'm in a luxury mood, I will often use the YSL or the Prada, but there's a myriad of choices from the drugstore. These are two NYX ones that I absolutely love, Butter Than Before and My Butter Half. There's the MCoBeauty blush drops if you prefer something more liquidy. There's the Revolution Beauty Silk Blush in Rosy Cheeks if you prefer a cream. If you fancy a little bit of the Patrick Tar effect, there's the Collection Duo Blush, which has a cream and also a powder. So I'm going to try a cocktail of most of these to actually get myself a DIY transition blush. I'm going to start with the blush drops from MCoBeauty and just add a tiny little bit to start me off. Keep away from the centre of the eye, stay on the outside, and you can see I'm putting it on top of the highlighter. Buildable, blendable, really nice, really glowy. Next I'm going to take the Revolution Beauty blush stick and pop that slightly more on my cheeks. And to be honest, I could probably just stop there. I've tried this, it also works, it's really fantastic. I've actually uploaded a video on dupes and this features quite heavily, so I'll link it above so you can have a look at it. These two NYX blushes are actually really pigmented and kind of deserve to be used on their own. I'm not sure that I can find anywhere on my cheeks to actually put these at the moment. But again, they are an exquisite formula. People do find it quite hard to take in terms of packaging for the NYX products, but in terms of the quality of what's inside, you can't beat them. In terms of eyeshadow, we are actually spoilt for choice. My go-tos and my must-haves are these two Revolution palettes. This is the Eternal Icon and this is the Smoky Icon. A fairly new addition is this Collection Sahara Dunes, which I got as a dupe for this YSL palette, which honestly I wish I'd never bought, but it's got a great mirror, so I use it as a mirror, a very expensive mirror. Two more must-haves, these two little Sephora palettes. They're absolutely brilliant formulas. They are buildable, blendable, and they go on an absolute treat. And I quite often use these two as a sort of dupey-ish for this Viseart palette. This is the Aqua Lisa Says Gar palette. You've got some neutrals here. This is the Grunge Green palette, and this is the Audacious Aqua palette if you want something a little bit more colourful. And although you can't get all of the colours, particularly the purples, the pinks and that orange, you can actually get a really stunning eyeshadow look. And these are what I'm going to use today. And I'm going to start with the brown on the Grunge Green and just drop that into the crease, above the crease because I've got hooded eyes. Then I'm going to go into Audacious Aqua and use my fingers and pop this all over the lid. I'm going to take the same brush as I had before and just blend the edges up into the brown. And there you've got a perfect summer look. Back to Audacious Aqua. Take a little bit of this colour here, pop that on the inner corner. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to give myself a little baby wing with the NYX Epic Ink liner, and you'll have heard me rave about this before. It's literally foolproof. Even for me with my hooded eyes. It's a little bit tricky, but it's not the product's fault. This has got the finest pen. It doesn't skip, and a bit like mascara, I don't think you can beat drugstore eyeliner. For safety, I do though always store it like must-have lip liners, Baddest Beige or Truth or Bear from E.L.F. And this is Truth or Bear, this is Baddest Beige, and this is my lip cheat from Charlotte Tilbury in Pillow Talk. And today I'm going to use Baddest Beige. Why the E.L.F. pencils are in my must-haves is because they stay in place. They have them in nearly every colour you can imagine. How is my cushion foundation holding up? Just to remind you, this side is my Maybelline, this side is my L'Oreal, and I think it's holding up really well. It goes on so easily with that little sponge. It doesn't settle into fine lines. It's a tough one because I love my Lumi Matte, but I do think this one is going to have to go into my new must-haves. Finally, lipstick. And I bought this MCoBeauty lipstick for the dupes video, and it absolutely dupes. Slightly different colours, but it does actually dupe the Charlotte Tilbury. This is Walk of No Shame. This is Ruby Rouge, and they're so similar. And since that video, this has been in my reach for pile, and it competes a little bit with my eyes, but it does give a lovely jewel-like finish to my face. I've been looking into MCo, and they are an Australian brand, and they have got into trouble a couple of times, I think, with packaging that is perhaps more similar than it should be. But formula-wise, I think they've really nailed it. So that's it. That's the look. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, do give us a like and do subscribe if you want to see more. I upload every week, and I will hopefully see you soon.